I'm going to be talking about how to stay debt-free in your 20s as a soon-to-be 20-year-old with a 700 credit score and kids on the way. Tip number 1 is going to be to create a budget. This is probably the most important tip on the list. If you don't know where your money is going, it's going to be very difficult to get out of debt. The first step to creating a budget is to track your income and expenses. This will help you to see where your money is going and where you can cut back. You can use a budgeting app, a spreadsheet, or even just a piece of paper to track your spending. Once you know where your money is going, you can start to set realistic goals. For example, you might want to save a certain amount of money each month or pay off a certain amount of debt each year. Once you know your goals, you can start to make a plan to reach them. This might involve cutting back on expenses or finding ways to make extra money, or maybe even both. It's important to be flexible when it comes to budgeting. Life happens and sometimes you'll need to adjust your budget. That's okay. Just make sure to keep track of your spending and make adjustments as needed. And finally, don't give up. Creating a budget and sticking to it takes time and effort. Don't get discouraged if you slip up or don't see results immediately. Just keep at it and you'll eventually reach your goals. Tip number 2 will be to pay off your high interest debt first. There are a few different ways to pay off your high interest debt first. One way is to use the debt avalanche method. With the debt avalanche method, you focus on paying off your debts with the highest interest rate first. Once you pay off one debt, you roll the amount you were paying on that debt into the next debt with the highest interest rate. You continue this process until all of your debts are paid off. Another way to pay off your high interest debt first is to use the debt snowball method. With the debt snowball method, you focus on paying off your debts with the smallest balances first. Once you pay off one debt, you move on to the next debt with the smallest balance. You continue this process until all of your debts are paid off. Which method you choose is totally up to you. The debt avalanche method is generally considered to be the best way to save money and interest, but the debt snowball method can be more motivating, which can help you stick to your debt repayment plan. The most important thing is to be consistent with your payments. If you can make more than the minimum payments, even better. The more you can pay down your debt each month, the sooner you'll be debt-free. And tip number 3 is going to be to make a list of your goals. The first step to making a list of your financial goals is to brainstorm. Write down anything that comes to mind, no matter how big or small. Once you have a list, start to narrow it down by focusing on the goals that are most important to you. Here are some examples of financial goals. Saving down for a payment on a house, paying off student loans, saving for retirement, starting a business, traveling the world. And once you have a list on your top financial goals, it's time to start planning. Break each goal down into smaller, more manageable steps. This will make it easier and less daunting and more achievable. For example, if your goal is to save for a down payment on a house, you could break it down into smaller goals, such as opening a savings account, setting up a monthly automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account, cut back on unnecessary expenses, find ways to make extra money. It's also important to set deadlines for yourself. This will help you stay on track and avoid procrastination. For example, if your goal is to save for a down payment on a house in 3 years, you could set a deadline of 36 months, which is also 3 years. Tip number 4 will be to set realistic goals. The first step to setting realistic financial goals is to know your current financial situation. This includes knowing your income, expenses, and debts. Once you know where you stand financially, you can start to set goals that are achievable. Here are some tips for setting realistic financial goals. Be specific. When you set a goal, be specific as possible. For example, instead of saying, I want to save money, say, I want to save $10,000 by the end of the year. Be realistic. Don't set yourself up for failure. Don't set yourself up for failure by setting unrealistic goals. Start with small, achievable goals and gradually work your way up to bigger goals. Be flexible. Things don't always go according to plan, so be prepared to make adjustments to your goals as needed. Don't give up. There will be times when you feel discouraged, but it's important to keep going. Remember why you set those goals in the first place and stay focused on your dreams. Once you have set some realistic financial goals, it's time to create a plan to achieve them. This plan should include specific steps that you will take to reach your goals. For example, if your goal is to save $10,000 by the end of the year, your plan might include opening a savings account, setting up a monthly automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account, and cutting back on unnecessary expenses. Tip number 5 will be to make extra payments. Making extra payments on your debt can help you pay it off faster and save money on interest. Here are a few tips on how to make extra payments. Automate your payments. This will help you make sure that you never miss payment and that you're always making the maximum possible payment. Increase your payments gradually. If you can't afford to make a large extra payment right away, start by making a small one. Then gradually increase the amount of your extra payment each month. Take advantage of promotions. Many lenders offer promotions that can help you save money on interest if you make extra payments. Tip 6 will be to cut back on your expenses. Cancel unnecessary subscriptions. Do you really need that gym membership or that streaming service? Take a look at your monthly subscriptions and cancel any that don't look useful. Cook at home more often. Eating out can be expensive. Cooking at home is a great way to save money. Bring your own coffee to work. Buying coffee every day can add up. Bringing your own coffee from home can save money. Shop around for better deals. Don't just buy the first thing you see. Do some research and shop around for the best deals on things like groceries, clothing, and electronics. Cut back on unnecessary spending. Take a close look at your spending habits and see where you can cut back. Do you really need that new pair of shoes or that expensive dinner out? Make a conscious effort to cut back on unnecessary spending. Tip 7 is going to be to get a side hustle. Choose a side hustle that you're passionate about. If you're not interested in your side hustle, it's going to be difficult to stick with it. Choose something that you enjoy doing and that you're good at. Do your research. Before you start your side hustle, it's important to do your research and make sure that there's a demand for your services. There are a number of ways to do this, such as talking to potential customers, conducting market research, and looking at online forums. Market your side hustle. Once you've got your side hustle up and running, it's important to market it. There are a number of ways to do this, such as creating a website, using social media, and networking. Be patient. It takes time to build a successful side hustle. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away. Just keep working hard and eventually you'll start to see success. Tip number 8 is going to be to seek professional help. There are a number of different types of professional help available. Some of the most common types of professional help include financial advisors. Financial advisors can help you create a budget, invest your money, and plan for retirement. Credit counselors. Credit counselors can help you negotiate with your creditors to lower your interest rates and monthly payments. They can also help you create a plan to pay off your debt. Non-profit credit counseling agencies. Non-profit credit counseling agencies are a good option if you're struggling to make your monthly payments. These agencies offer free or low-cost services such as debt counseling and budgeting assistance. Here are some tips on how to find professional help. Ask your friends, family, and neighbors for recommendations. Search online for financial advisors or credit counselors in your area. Check with your local bank or credit union. Many banks and credit unions offer free financial counseling services to their customers. Contact the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, also known as the NFCC. It's a nonprofit organization that can help you find a qualified credit counselor in your area. You've made it to the end of the video. Please like this up, subscribe, more financial content if you like this. We're going on the road to get rich, everybody. Stay on your goals, stay working hard every day, save your money, or invest. Either way, controversial right now, but keep working.